where is Bisrat? Where is
Bisrat is the person setting up the other cameras. You can see, trying to record the people who are in the office.
Okay. Hi, Doik. Can you turn on your camera? Is Abigail here? Where is Abigail, guys? Okay, we're about to start, guys. Abigail will be here in a few minutes.
Yes.
Oh, Abigail, you're here. I was writing the mentor. Welcome. Okay, guys, let me tell him. Do you all have the workshop deck, right? I'll be sharing here. Have you seen the deck, Abigail? There is a workshop deck on Slack, so you can follow. I'll be sharing here.
Okay.
But if you also wanna download it, it's on Slack.
Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Welcome.
How are
Do
you?
you guys hear me? Good. How you doing?
Yes, I
How's
can
my
hear you.
house?
Do you guys hear? Is it real or it's a background, but it looks like real?
Yeah, it's my New York City apartment.
So here's our whole team here, and then some students over there. I think they're studying.
Mhm.
So Thailand, thank you so much for being staying up this late.
Cool.
We're so grateful. So I'm just gonna pull the deck up. But during this time, maybe you can start telling your career and how did you start and how did you start in Istanbul and then your career ends up in Los Angeles. Maybe you can tell us about a little bit.
Uh, I started everything here in the US, but when I was in Istanbul, I was thinking to change my career from making music to combine more other stuff that I do, which I was studied painting in the Fine Arts University, and I was drawing comics, I was making music, and some other stuff. So I just want to combine everything together, and it looked like cinema or video. And then when I moved New York, like 15 years ago, I started work at photo sets as an assistant. So this was the first closest environment to my goal. Still the image making and still using equipments and lightings and also professional environment. You see lots of stuff over there. And after that time, this video function just came uh, implemented into these 5D cameras, the Canon cameras. And that time I just switched completely to the video because it's more closer to the goal that I want to do, just which is the cinema. So, and after that, just like working, and then keep learning stuff. And then basically, I was trying to put myself in every job that possible to learn anything, even uh, small bits, and then just kind of update myself all the time. So that's the only way for every professionals. By the way, it's your experiences becomes your kind of guidance to your more successful work, uh, and that's what happened to me. And then I started work as a cinematographer. Uh, my levels kind of switched to shoot more TV commercials, and that time it's really complicated to create different kind of sets for every different project. So one of the projects are small set, other projects are really big set, different kind of environment, different kind of situations, and the basic thing. Uh, the basic thing is the problem solving. So each set, each project, each moment has its own problems. So the filmmakers or videographers or cinematographers' first job is to see these problems and fix those problems. So these problems are usually becomes like technical if you're on the technical side, and sometimes creative if you're on the creative side, and also if you are more into business or managing people side, then you have the problems in that way. So anyway, this was my short way to how I started the old stuff. I don't know. uh, yeah, so I guess we're gonna do camera one-on-one. uh,
Yes, too. But I have another questions
sure.
that can you tell us about the how is the work ethic in the West world, if we compare to the East?
I mean, how east? The far east.
Like not no, not Far East, mostly like our Turkey, Middle East, our
Yeah.
East or Africa, but Western world is completely a different case.
Hmm.
But can you tell us about, how uh, what kind of things you learn from the Western work ethic?
So the big, the main thing is in the Western world, we say just like developed countries like US or UK, but none of them. Specifically, the US is the base of this cinema and filmmaking and technologies and everything. And the main differences is depthness of the industries. So, for example, cinema industry here is huge, right? The world biggest Hollywood, and but you cannot find the same level of depthness. Depthness means in just like size and then experience of that industry. So which means is hundreds of years. Basically, people are just working and working. They're developing some working ethics and some rules. They see some problems they're fixing, and then everybody just acting in that way, sort of thing. And other countries don't have this kind of depthness in their industry, and their industry size are usually small. And the small industries usually couple of people kind of holds the corners, and then more cruel way, not letting other people to go jump on their ways and stuff. Uh, but countries like US, uh, because of a lot of people just moved in and moved out the US, and throughout the history, they work with lots of creatives. Think that all just like art movements or cinema movements or technological developments, they saw so many people. So differences, biggest differences is this kind of places know how to use a person's potential, and they are open to it. So if you have potential, if you have creativity, if you have an idea, if you can bring anything to that environment, they know how to use it and then how to take it. So biggest differences is other small places, they will try to kick you out because you are kind of creating conflict for their interests. But this kind of places always will try to use your potential. So that's the main differences. So one thing that I learned when I moved here, so if you have creativity, if you have talent, or if you have any knowledge, it's same for everybody. So never get scared and never, just like hold yourself to bring your ideas and never give up trying. So because this kind of places always have doors for you to open, basically, as long as you have something to bring on. So that's the main differences. Yeah,
I agree. Thank you so much.
sure.
Guys, do you have any questions about his career or any film industry? If you have any questions, please ask it right now, or we're gonna dive into cameras.
I guess everybody.
No, we're good.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So in this big career, what was your biggest challenge when it came to directing?
For the directing, uh, directing job is kind of top level position. Like everybody has one dreamy idea about being a director, right? So when you say the directors, oh, directors, you know, but director is at the end the person that creatively leads the project, like a creative director of the agencies, right? So who is responsible to give decisions creatively, and who is responsible to put everything together and bring the final piece. So biggest challenge is the getting the job. So because uh, directors has different kind of styles, I would say. So some directors are famous, right? Some directors are has like amazing portfolios. Some of them client front directors, which means their the personality is just like more like a stage, so then they can easily just push on to clients, and then oh, we have this kind of people, and then just like talented people and hard workers, which is well, my my category is the kind of hard worker. The biggest challenge is like getting the work. So how I got my works is as an I'm an immigrant here, right? I'm a Turkish guy who came here very late and then tried to make its own way. So as you guys remember, I say like I started to do cinematography. So the main reason that I started being DPing or cinematography is to open my way to directing and meet with the industry. So uh, each project again just like has its own challenge, right? So one time we are shooting the outside in the somewhere totally different kind of setup, and then one day we are in the studio in completely different kind of uh, situation. So I just wanted to show myself that how I can handle the projects, right? So I was being fast, I was being technical, I was being creative to show myself to the producers, and then kind of making my way to show them I can handle everything in that way and also more. So since I was doing that thing, and then at one point they just realized that I can direct and I can handle the projects in different level, so I got a chance. But after that, uh, when I jumped into directing, uh, getting projects from agencies are really tough because each project they're collecting maybe 4 or 5 directors' ideas. Basically, you are preparing your deck, your pitch, and giving to them, and then they're selecting one of it. So it's kind of, just like close race, and you don't know if you're going to get selected or not, or why you're not going to, why you didn't get selected, or it's kind of blindfolded situation. So that's the hardest part, so knowing the people. But again, this comes to another part, networking. So if you don't know the creative directors, if you don't know the producers, and if you are not really close to the source, it's really hard to uh, make them to find you, as long as you don't have any big career or the amazing portfolio. So networking, being creative, being competitive, and also bringing ideas on the table, and then good luck. So this when combined. So these are the challenges of being director, and as a film side, uh, being film director is these are the commercial sides. Uh, for the film side, film films are like movies are really expensive, right? Shooting one movie is I don't know, millions of dollars or hundreds of $1,000 or whatever. So they are specifically looking for the people in the same style who made same same kind of movies in the same kind of level budget, so they can trust you, right? So if they give it to somebody who never shot a feature film, which is it has like its own problems, like lots of problems in it, it's very difficult. So they can lose that money, right? And also putting together as a movies are really difficult. So not only technical side, there's like acting side, there's like bring the story side, like controlling all the emotional parts of it, etc. So it's really difficult. And then they're exactly looking for people uh, who can bring who did the same thing before, like exactly. For example, they have a project for romance, right? Romance or the rom-com, and then they're looking for same style directors who shot rom-coms in the similar budget level, so they can trust that guy. So if you want to make your way to being a film director to shoot the movies, it starts with the making short films, proving yourself, getting awarded, and creating maybe a couple more shorts until you have like really good script or something. But still, it's very hard. Again, it comes to networking. It comes to who
Yes.
you know and how your connections and how talented you are and how you're presenting your ideas. So presenting ideas are really, really important. If you give just like one, I don't know, like 100 pages uh, script to them to read, it's might not work all the time because you need like good deck to show everything, visualize everything. Even you have to make some repomatics to show the styles and everything in stone, and then some statements, to explain project how you're going to do, etc., etc. So presenting your idea is another challenge. Yeah.
Yes. Especially in Los Angeles, I think networking is the most important
Yes.
thing because
Everywhere. Yeah.
everywhere, but also it's here because
Here's
here is
different.
kind of Champions League, Champions League for the film industry. So
Yeah.
competition is incredibly high.
Yeah.
So like you said, good luck for everyone in Hollywood. Okay, thank you so much.
Sure.
Uh, so this is our first basic camera page. So yeah,
Mhm.
we can start here. I think so. We all have mirrorless cameras, but
Mhm.
we can start. You can start teaching us, what is mirrorless camera, what is DSLR, and
Okay.
how we can utilize them in the right space places.
Okay. So we all know what the camera is, right? So device to get the image and delivers in some sort of on media. So there are different kind of cameras, specifically in this age. Before, just like old times, like 50, 60 years ago, there were SLR cameras, basically still photography cameras, single lens reflection. Uh, and then there was the film video cameras, I would say, cinema cameras, but shooting on a film. So that was the analog times. Now we have DSLRs. DSLR is as you can guess, is a digital single lens reflectors, DSLR cameras, and also mirrorless cameras. Mirrorless cameras are development after DSLRs. DSLRs, uh, like they are also photography cameras, right? So and then old school system, they have mirror here, image comes to mirror, and the mirror reflects to the sensor. So, and then since the sensors are developed, they just remove this mirror part, and then it became like mirrorless because of the sensor. But mirrorless camera usually they use smaller sensors. So in this part, the cameras are kind of gets divided by different size of sensors, right? So full frame sensors, APCC size sensors, Super 25 size sensors, and etc. Uh, so mirrorless cameras are again this a development after the DSLRs. We still have the DSLR cameras, and it's basically more digitalized, more compact, small cameras. But mirrorless cameras are usually, again, just a kind of compact with photography and video in it. But the videos are usually, if it's not the cinema level, just limited in some sort of uh, level. So I can explain a little bit more about these levels. Uh, Image quality is the most important thing, and this sensors has different kind of qualities. Even doesn't matter if it's a full frame or APC size or Super 25. The cameras has like uh, shutter functions. Uh, Most of the cameras are rolling shutter, and most of the good cameras are global shutter. The rolling shutters and the global shutter differences is when you move the camera sometimes you will see some images are gets banded, right? So when move, all images that becomes like banded. So the reason is rolling shutter sensors are reading from left to right or right to left, line by line. So and that it takes time, right? It just like very small part of the time, but still takes time. So it bends the image when you move because it starts reading from this part, but the camera moves, right? And then start trying to feel the other parts, and that image just kind of bends. So most of the cameras has rolling shutter included, mirrorless cameras. So they are not always best to shoot action or more fast scenes. And then most of the cinema cameras has the global shutter. Global shutter is just like reads in the same time, full sensor, full pixels. So then nothing is bending or nothing is rolling, etc. So I know too many details, but I just want to give them. So main differences with the DSLRs and mirrorless cameras are, you guys sometimes might see like 10-bit, 8-bit, right? And these are the file qualities. 10-bit is better, 8-bit is smaller. But also there are, you guys might see 10-bit 420, 422, or 444 kind of informations. So these informations are the color informations. And I'm not going to go into very detailed, uh, but usually the mirrorless cameras are 10-bit 420, or if it's like a little bit more expensive, it becomes like 10-bit 422. This is the good quality image it's delivering, it means. So, and depends on your function, different kind of cameras, right? These compact cameras are like DSLR, mirrorless cameras are, and also like some actions and other small cameras are. Also, there are like studio cameras, which is what the TV studios are using. They call like FFP cameras. Uh, FFP cameras are, usually bulky. You might just see in TV interviews. There's a cameraman, there's like big camera on his shoulders and stuff. So those cameras are adjusted to bring broadcast quality uh, image or the footage to the channel. So they have different kind of many functions and stuff. They're always compact, and then they use usually servo lens. We're gonna come to lenses. The servo lens means there's like button on the lens. It makes it zoom in, zoom out quickly. So FFP cameras are, which is fixed focus point, and so those cameras are always in focus, whatever you do. So they are not really trying to deal with the making focus and etc. So you can, for example, in the soccer match, right, or the football match, you see the cameras are just going everywhere, but always in focus. Or the TV, they do interviews and stuff, is always in focus. So because of those cameras are always in focus, this stuff FFP cameras, and then cinema cameras. Cinema cameras are mostly, not mostly, just like they develop to give cinema quality image. What the cinema quality image means, again, global shutter lens usually, and now lately they are using very developed rolling shutters as well. Uh, Usually outputs are 10-bit or 12-bit, 444 RAW or uh, ProRes or similar uh, high-level codecs. And then those cameras always, now lately they become just a box, uh, but it gives you a chance to add a lot of stuff on it. And also they have a little bit strong mouse, lens mount to hold the cinema lenses, which is cinema lenses are the highest quality lenses on earth, and they're usually really expensive. And all the system, when you bulk up, it becomes like really big and stuff, but gives you the cinema quality image. Why it's so important to have cinema quality image? Because cinema movies are usually goes into really strong post production process, right? They're adding colors, they're adding effects on it. Sometimes they put CGIs complementing together, and etc. etc. Also, they have different processes after the movie completed to put on digital medias, DSPs, and stuff. So the really strong footage is really important. So it's not going to uh, get destroyed under really heavy process. So also there are cameras in between these two worlds. Uh, they are more like compact uh, cameras, more for the use they use for the interviews and or shooting documentaries. And those cameras are uh, usually they have everything on it. You can put the microphone on it, you can put the lens on it. They are lightweight. They have NDs on it, etc., etc. I know I said like too details, but I don't know. Maybe some details you might guys look at it later.
So my question is, so we need to learn here. So we're gonna use mirrorless
Mm.
cameras, but also for longer shots. Sometimes we should conferences. We should like long 2 hour stuff. So I think which is the most suitable for long shots, camcorders.
Uh, you can use any camera has the capacity. the capacity to use two or three different memory cards. So usually one finished, other one is continuously recording it. And also, the camcorders are fine. It depends on the footage quality you want. You just want to capture is different. If you want to capture like really nicely is different. So usually people are using the camera that I just explained, the compact cinema cameras. Uh, they have certain slots. You can put couple SD cards or CF cards to record continuously, and also they have chance to uh, give the footage with the cable to another recorder. And so the cameras are like maybe you guys can see on the old cine cameras, left one at the top. Uh, you guys see it next to the arrow? It says like old cinema cameras. That camera, for example, I guess it's Sony FX6 or something. So this kind of cameras are uh, very useful. So also, you know, there is cameras are called Blackmagic, Blackmagic Pocket Camera. They you can use hard disk directly with the camera, so you can record to the hard disk. The main answer is I'm going too technical again. As long as you can record everything 1 hour, 2 hour into the card with the camera, you can use any cameras. So
Mhm.
if your camera settings, if you adjusted not the 4K but the HD, you will get more data, more time into the card. If you do 4K, it will be bigger data but less time into the card. So it's again, uh, so recording time is important for those kind of stuff. Usually cameras has like it's like two slots in it. So once the one of the card is finished, it completely jumps to the next card and continue to recording on it. So these are your cameras, right? Sony. Yeah.
Yeah, so do you guys have any questions about camera styles, like camera versions? So this is our, yeah, let me see. This is our second page. Okay. Yeah, so since we have all Sony camera modes, so maybe we can
Yeah, this camera
uh,
modes are same for every camera. So as
uh-huh.
once you learn the, using one camera, usually the functions are same with every camera. So these are what I see is on the left side, it's Sony camera. Uh, there are like on-off button. Usually all cameras have like on-off. You can start and turn off. Uh, and then since these cameras are uh, photography and the video cameras together, they have most of the functions you see here are for photography, and some functions are for the video as well. Usually, this kind of cameras are video functions are usually in the menu. But what we see here, there is a mode dial. It says MSAP. So these are automatic settings or manual settings of the camera. M means manual. So when you get to the M, you adjust everything by yourself. Shutter speed, shutter angle, f-stops, and everything you do by yourself. Usually, professional photographers are use this to control everything, like driving stick shift car. And the S and A is usually this S and A always stays, but sometimes S changes. So and the P is uh, automatic auto shoot basically. So when you get the P, it adjusts everything for you. And A and S is photography functions. Uh, when the S is shutter speed. That's the reason it's S. Uh, and A is aperture. So what does it mean is sometimes, uh, you know, when you get the P, the camera adjusts everything, right? When you get the A, you are giving camera the aperture, what do you want? Basically, aperture is just the f stops. So it's related to depth of field of your image. So once you
You're
go
gonna
to,
come right here.
yeah,
Yeah, it's here.
yeah,
Yeah,
you're gonna see it. Go back.
yeah. Wait, lenses. Yeah.
Okay. So you see f1.4, f2, f2.8, f5.6, etc. So these are f stops. Uh, f stop is like how much light goes into the lens. And cinema cameras has T stop. T is after lens glasses, how much light transition into the to the sensor. So if you guys see T or F, don't get confused, almost the same thing. So aperture is when you're taking photos, if you want to keep some certain level of depthness in the photo, you just are putting in the A, you are given like f1.8 or whatever you want to keep, and then the camera adjusts everything like shutter angles and etc to that A info. So when you get the S, usually it's maybe functional for you guys, shooting stuff at the certain shutter speed. So shutter speed is important because it decides how much light's gonna go in, right? How much the lights it will let it through the lens, and so it is just like speeds. Uh, so if you are shooting something fast, you have to go to higher numbers to.
Carla, maybe they have cameras right now, so maybe I can also show them. So you guys already know f-stop. So I think this is Sony. So this part, so it's like f-stop. So can we say if we lower the f, we focus on the subject more, and all the background
Will be blurry.
gets blurry,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
if we yeah,
yeah.
so if
It's
f stops goes
yeah,
down, this is how I remember all the time. If f
yeah,
stops go down, you can focus on the subject and make all the background blurry.
yeah. It's
And if
kind of
you want
yeah.
to see the
The
background, uh-huh.
yeah. It's the old time the photography cameras was using film, so everything adjusted all the terms and the functions are adjusted to those films, like how much you're gonna uh, pose these films to get the result. So if you go f1.4, f2, f2.8 till to f4, so these are more, sensor parts are more open and you are getting more light. And then if you shoot something on the f2.0 or the 2.8, for example, shooting me as a portrait, right? So my eyes, my nose, maybe a little bit my ears will be in focus, but the rest of it will be blurry. So once you go to more just like f3, f4, it will be less blurry, but more area in the depthness will be in focus. So basically, when you look at the side, so f2.8 gives this much area to be in focus, right? F3 will give you this much area in focus. F4 will give this much area in focus. So it the extends the length of the focus uh, in your angle, right? So if you want everything in focus, then you go to f8 or endless. So again, it's related to light. Does it make sense? I don't know. So
Yeah. Also, so I think we can tell, so can we say three important things like shutter
mhm.
speed, f-stop, and ISO?
Yeah, ISO.
We
So
know all these three, at least we can just do all the basic
yes,
interviews or
yeah,
yeah, daily shots.
yeah. That's the
So,
main. Yeah, go ahead.
huh?
You
So
asked.
I was gonna ask, so let's say we know that if we lower the f, okay, the background will be more blurry, or if
Mhm,
we take the f like f 5.6,
mhm.
background and the subject will be, let's say,
Yeah,
in balance. How we gonna adjust shutter speed and ISO? Because sometimes
yeah,
we're at outside, sometimes
yeah.
in the we're in the
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
room.
yeah, yeah. So these three adjustments are the main basic photography labeling. So ISO is sensitivity to the light. So f-stop is the focal area, right? And S is, sometimes you will see T is the time, how much time you're gonna let this light to go through the lens. So this actually is really basic. So if you have, for example, if you are shooting under the sun, you have to go lower ISO, which is like ISO 100, 200, something
Wait,
like that,
wait. Yes,
and
ISO.
send over there. And then if you shoot darker, you go to the higher. So I'm gonna give example from Sony cameras. Sony cameras are brought A7S cameras, A7S2 for the video. The main function of A7S2 is it's a really good low light camera. So why it's a really good low light camera? Because they have really extended ISO in it. So again, as I said, like 100, 200, 300 for more light. So more light, smaller number, right? And less light, bigger ISO number. So it has like 51,000 whatever ISO. So you can shoot in the dark basically, right? So ISO is again sensitivity to the light. If too much light, less ISO. If darker, higher ISO. It's kind of cross. Uh,
You guys know
so
where is ISO on the cameras?
yeah,
Yes?
yes.
Yes,
Yeah?
yes, it's
Okay. So you know
on the
you know
right
how
side.
to say. Okay, okay. Yes. Sorry, I was just
No, no,
trying
no
to
problem. Yeah, these
double
are
check.
yeah, these are basic photography knowledge. So, why they say moving image? Because basically you have like many photographs in a 1 second. So when you see next to each other, it just moves, right? So moving image is this. So basically, you have to know photography basics to control your moving image camera, which is video camera or camcorder. So this tree is important. So if you are shooting outside really bright, the first thing you're gonna do is lower ISO. So lower ISO will let you get less light into your image. And then time, like f-stop. And time is the shutter speed, right? So where the shutter speed comes is, it is the time how much light gonna go into the sensor, right? So if you go to, for example, lower shutter speeds, like if 1.60, 50, 24, 30, those are like when you go to one, it means 1 second this aperture stays open and then closed, which means 1 second of a time, that long time, the light goes into the lens. When you go to smaller numbers, the higher numbers, the light will be really very little amount in that time will go to the lens. So, for example, if you want to shoot something fast forward, you need to go higher. You have to shoot, for example, 1.60, 80, 1 point, or 100 shutter angle. So the reason is because it will go really fast. Each time it will catch your image or subject without making any blur. So it will be in focus. For example, if you are shooting someone running or sportsman, etc., you have to go 80, 60, or 100, whatever, to catch that image without any moving blur. So that's the time part. And then f stop. What was the f stop? It's focal length. So focal length means, when you go to number higher, it's just a focus like 30 centimeter, 1 meter, 3 meter, but how much area you want in the focus, basically. So if you want to create more artistic photography, you will want the background, a little bit blurry. So you are adjusting for that. Or if you are shooting something really fast in the lower light, you need to change your f-stop to a little bit higher to catch everything. So it's very, very basic. It sounds complicated, but it's very, very easy three combinations. So there's too much light, goes lower ISO, lower shutter speed, and then depends on your creative decisions, you adjust your f-stops. So
Yeah, and more practice, guys.
yeah,
I
of
think
course.
it's
I mean, there are
important.
lots of information on the internet. You guys lucky. It wasn't like this before. So now you guys can find everything on the, YouTube or in Googling basic, searching. There are lots of information and lots of people try to teach this basic stuff. So basically, these are just the kind of algorithms and numbers or technical things that helps you to create your visual idea. So that's the reason professional photographers using like manual setups to control all these three things. When you go to program auto settings, the camera will make it for you, and you won't be having that much creative control as long as you know what what you are doing. So
So, what about frame per seconds? So, which is
yeah.
good for daily shooting and
Mhm.
interviews, or for example, if you want to do slow motion edits, like
Mhm.
the emotional, that slow motion
Mhm.
scenes, we need to use different frame
Yeah,
per second. So, what is that, and how?
yeah. As I said, the moving image is, how many photographs in 1 second, right? Uh, like 24, 25, these are record settings, right? Uh, 24 frame per second means in 1 second, 24 photographs in it. It's 60 frame per second means in 1 second of the video footage, there are 60 photographs in it. So it's the number of photographs you are putting in. So again, if you want to shoot something slow motion, you need higher frame per seconds, which is 60 and up, 60, 90, and 20. So you are putting more photos in it. So when you play slowly, it doesn't misses anything and then flawlessly shows you the slow motion. But if you try to make slow motion from 24 frame per second, it will be jumpy because there are not enough photographs between the takes. So does it make sense? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So that's the frame per second.
So
Uh,
all these frames are really important for the editing program, right? We need to open the right editing like folder or file
Yeah, I
to.
mean, yeah, now editing softwares are automatically detects this kind of stuff. So, but before shooting, you have to know what you want. If you are shooting movies, usually they are 24 frame per seconds because it gives the motion of image in its cinema taste. So if you want to something shoot slow motion, you are shooting 60, 90, etc. because you're knowing that it will give you good results for slow motion. So it's kind of before shooting, you have to know what you are doing. Or like 30 frame per second is kind of between, or 42 frame per seconds are kind of in between. So you can use it kind of normal or slow motion. So some cameras has shutter speed, some cameras has shutter angle. The both is the same thing. So cinema cameras has shutter angle. Uh, this kind of cameras usually have shutter speed, but in the menu you guys will see there's option shutter angle. So what shutter angle is? All time cinema cameras has uh, one part spinning front of the film. So since it was just turning, there was one opening in that circle, so it gives the light to the film to make it bright, burning to the film, right? So usually they were shooting as 90 degree or 120 degree or whatever. So so shutter angle comes from that part. So usually you're gonna see 25 an M. These are record settings. Okay. So usually in the videos and in the cinema cameras, you have to do double shutter speed of the frame per second. So if you are shooting 24 frame per second, you have to use at least uh, the 50 as a shutter speed. So it must be double time of it to not give you any blur uh, for your image. If you go lower, your image will be blurry. If you go higher, it will be without any motion blur. So why I'm saying this, if you are shooting green screen or blue screen, some interviews or some footage front of the green screen, so you're gonna change the background, right? Like my house like this. So you have to shoot higher shutter angle. The reason is when you shoot, for example, if you are going to shoot something in front of green 16, you have to go, like if you're 24 frames a second, you have to go 90. So the reason is because you are going to edit that footage and going to replace the background green screen. So you need more certain contours or details around your image. So when you go higher, what I say is less motion blur, right? If you go lower, more motion blur. So since it will cut the motion blur, your image will be completely in focus. And when you select this green area on your editing software, it will perfectly going to cut your image. So nothing will be muddy in the corner. So if you want to get good result on the green screen or blue screen, you have to go little higher shutter speed. So please don't forget that it's kind of important. And that's the point. Usually people make mistakes. So people try to shoot like as normal, and then when they try to change the green screen to put image, they always lose like hairs and something. What's on the side of you see sometimes that this one is losing too. It will give you results like that, and then you won't be happy. So
Yeah. So I think this will save you a lot of guys, especially for our interviews. So if we use 24 or 25 frame per second, the
yes,
shutter needs to be 50.
50, yeah, double.
Yes,
Don't forget, always double for the
double.
regular shoots. And if you are shooting a little bit more technical, you have to go, higher than double. Maybe add more half of it. Top of that, if it's 50, go 90 or something like that.
Yes. And if we want to see the background, we use higher f-stop. And if we want to focus on the subject more, we use lower f-stop. So if we know these three, four things, I think we will be good for a year.
Yeah,
So yeah, any
it's actually
question?
very easy. Once practice is so important. So just shoot, and then you guys are going to see that and differences. I see there's like people, those three guys has cameras on their hands. I know they're
Yeah,
the wolf.
Abigail, the girl says that too.
They're gonna nail it.
So any questions so far?
Good, I guess.
No, always explained well.
Okay, so I have here lenses that we missed it.
Yeah, I mean, we all know what lenses is, but again, there are different kind of lenses for different purposes. So there are prime lenses, which means single lens, single focal length, for example, 24, 35, 50, 85, something like that. And also there are zoom lenses, combination of couple focal lengths, for example, 24 to 70. So you can kind of adjust anything from 24 millimeter to 70 millimeter, basically uh, from wide angle to telephoto. So, and also there are like extreme super telephoto is here. Those lenses are to shoot more further distance stuff. But I will give you one trick. I like to shoot portrait with the 70 and 200. So basically, those lenses has like many layers in it, and once you get use those lenses like around 85 or 90 or 100, you will get really beautiful image of the face. So again, another trick is once you shoot wider angle for the people, it will kind of go circular. It will deform the face. But if you go like 85, 90, the face will be in the normal shape. So that's the reason portrait photographers use like 85, 75, or 100 to get the best portraits because the deformation of the image. So if you are shooting close-ups, you go to higher. If you are shooting more wide-angle stuff, if you want to see lots of stuff, you are going low. So 16 millimeter is extreme wide, right? 24 is wide angle, 35 is still wide, but the regular 50 is the midpoint regular angle. And then after that becomes like tele angles or narrow angles. And yeah, and also there are cinema cameras, cinema lenses, and then they have different functions in it, different kind of glasses are in it, different kind of mechanism in it. So the cameras are you are using usually probably you guys are using zoom lenses, and which is very practical. I have one 2470 Canon L series 2.8 lens. I'm just keeping it. It's a beautiful lens, and I always using it. It's, zoom lenses are nothing wrong to use with them. So specifically, if you are shooting different stuff in the same time, so you shoot in interviews and then you jump to get B rolls, and it's really easy to quickly adjust your frame. So, but in the cinema cameras, when you're shooting movies or commercials, we are using single prime lenses. So it always takes time to change lenses, because cameras are uh,
Yeah,
like
when you have prime lens, you can only use one
one focal length,
number. Yeah,
24, 24 millimeter or 25 millimeter or 50 millimeter, just one focal length.
yes. Um, Perfect. Thank you
And
so much.
also another thing is really important. I guess you guys are missing that filters. So filters are what different kind of glasses with the different functions you are putting in front of your lens,
We
right?
don't have that yet,
Yeah,
but in the future, yeah.
yeah. The most important one is ND filter, natural density filter. So ND filters are basically sunglasses of your lenses, right? If the outside is too bright and you want depth of field, and then you have to put ND lenses to cut that light. So it's like a sunglasses goes less light into your eyes or into the sensor. So ND filters are most important filters, and most of the compact cameras has ND filters in the cameras. So when you buy Sony FX6, yeah, see, and it's also polarizer. This one, if you get the cameras are more like different style compact cameras, since you are shooting different environment all the time, they have built-in ND filters in it. So ND2, ND4, ND6. So you don't need to use the filter, but the camera has those ND filters on it. The polarizer filters and ND filters, uh, usually, sometimes some sunglasses are like polarized, it says. And again, same thing for the lenses as well, the filters as well. So polarized lenses are gives you a chance to eliminate the reflection. For example, reflection top of the water, reflection from the on the window or car windshield. So and basically polarizer filters cuts that reflection, enables you to see what's behind of it. So for example, if you have polarized sunglasses, when you look at the water, you will see this what's inside the water, like fish or whatever. If you don't have polarizer sunglasses, when you look at the water, you will only see the surface of the water because of the reflection. Does it make sense? So I guess this is the best way to explain. So also there are uh, some sort of soft light filters. So those are usually to cut too strong video look from the image. So basically, they makes a little bit softer everything, and then different types of this softness lenses has like pearlescent, black magic, or etc. So all they have different functions. Basically, what they do is kind of make the image a little bit more organic and less video harsh looking, and also sometimes they lets you to see more details in the black, and also creates glows around the lights. For example, if you are shooting B2 shots, right, the one girl is just like glowing and walking in the lights, everything is just a kind of fuzzy. So basically, you are putting this soft light filter front of your lenses, so it makes everything glowy, glowy and shiny and beautiful, right? So lenses are the filters are really important. I will suggest you guys to look at them. So if you are using zoom lenses, just better to get one circular ND lens. Circular ND lenses are like a zoom lenses. It starts from 1 point, 2 point, or 3 point, whatever. Basically, softer, harder, uh, basically less the more ND filter. So you can just put on front of your lens. They are cheap. Uh, and so when you are shooting outside, if it's just like too bright, so basically you can adjust your ND filter. Basically, you put sunglasses from your onto your lens, so you are controlling the light, so nothing gets like overexposed, you know, or goes to overexposed, basically too bright. Yeah.
Yes. So I just any questions for the lenses, guys, and or anything so far?
Yeah.
So in that moment, I think most important thing for us, f-stop, ISO, and shutter speed.
Hmm. And
And
also again, sometimes those three becoming not enough, and then you need filters to control it. So if it's too bright, whatever you do, even you put just like uh, ISO 100, and then adjusting your aperture in time, still is too bright. You really have to put ND filter on it. Otherwise, you cannot control it. So that's really important function. So also, if you don't use ND filters, those kind of bright situations, you're not going to get any blurry background in your footage. So, and it will make it like looks like ordinary footage from your iPhone or whatever. So, like if you want to get a little bit advanced, good image, so you have to have these filters. So basically, ISO, shutter speed, focal length, and ND filters. Those four are basically light control into your machine, right? So cuts lights, the speed of the light, the timing of the light, and then how much the focal length.
mhm. Yes,
Uh,
so
I would
thank
suggest
you.
buy one ND filters. So
Okay. Yes, so we can jump into the lighting quickly, maybe because I don't want to also keep you. It's already 1 hour.
already 1 hour.
Oh, yes. So lighting is also really important for us,
Mhm.
especially we do a lot of interviews. So we don't have lights, but we have, so maybe you can tell us the basic, this three lighting for interviews. And
Mhm.
also we see the, example of this woman. Maybe you can tell where is the light here on these
Yeah,
woman
yeah.
photos.
I'm
Yes.
gonna come to that. So the the lighting is basically you are painting to for the frame, right? So you're drawing and then you are just like adding the lighting, or you are just making painting with the light, they say. So to understand perfect lighting, you need to have trained eye. So what is trained eye means? To eye that sees the light values and other important things in the frame. So how you can train your eye? So you have to look at lots of photos and lots of backstage photos to understand how they're doing it and learn lighting types. So it's kind of uh, the really big family, but basic lights are like LED lights, HMI lights, and the tungsten lights. Uh, and usually people are using like the LED lights because they are cheap and then small and lightweight. And HMI lights are the day lights, and usually they are powerful. Uh, and then other lights are basically tungsten lights, which is yellow light. So uh, I guess making lighting is if you have lights or not. The first start with the environmental lighting. So to understand where is the sun, where's the lights coming from, where it bounces, or where you want to get it bounces. So what we do usually outside shoots are we use the most important two things. One is silk filter to basically cut the light or the sunlight, what comes on the subject or the area you are shooting. And second one is the bouncers, reflectors, right? So, for example, if you want to get this kind of situations, this kind of photos, if you're outside, there are a couple tricks. For example, one is to get the sun out your back, right? So, and then it creates really nice contour lights here, and then you will get really nice on your tops and the shoulders, right? But your face will be in dark. So because you're opposite side of the sun, right? And then you are putting reflector front of the subject, this like silver or gold big reflectors people just holding. So you are basically bouncing light to the subject. So you are basically making another light source to light up your subject. So if you are shooting outside, usually, yeah, this over there on the left side is two. Yeah, these are. So you need reflectors. It's really important to have reflectors. I suggest you guys to buy reflectors, like ND filters and reflectors. It's important. So basically, when you are shooting outside and there is no lighting, etc., you can control everything with the reflectors. And the reflectors are really give strong lighting because you are just directly reflecting from the sun. If you get the right angle, so you will really give like a spotlight kind of light on the face of the subject. So the main thing is these three lighting setups. Usually it's called interview setups, but basically it's the you know yeah, you see here. Thanks, Ezgi. Just finding photos right away. So what you see is on the right side, as I said, on the right side, this white circle is silk filter. Basically it cuts the light, right? So they put this silk
This.
filter. uh what do you do?
I'm just showing it. This guy.
Okay, okay, that's fine. I'm just they see it. So that white one is kind of they cut the sunlight what comes on her, right? And then well, probably where the sun is just like left back of her, right? So because the angle of the silk, so they're cutting that light with the silk, getting less light but the more beautiful, because once you diffuse it with the silk, that's the reason why they're using silk. Actually it's not really silk but plastic, but it's called silk. And it gives like really nice soft light on a person. So once you put it, less and soft light. And then this filters has one stop, half stop, or two stop, different thickness. So you can cut more or less with the filters. Usually you need just like one stop uh, silk filter. And the other side is the reflector. You might see where the reflection is goes like right side of her, so basically creates kind of one side is tiny bit darker than the right side. So it's a photographic quality for the aesthetically. You will always want one side a little bit darker and one side brighter. So that's the example of shooting outside. And the camera is camcorder, forget that camera, etc. So yeah. And for the interview setup with the lights, again, this combination you guys can mimic it. So what is this? One source, right? And the one filter and then one reflector. So again, it kind of makes it three-point lighting. So for the interview, three-point lighting is you can see it. So there's uh, key lights on the right side. Key light means the main light source. That's the reason they say key light. So, and then fill light and then backlight. So the backlight in previous photo, it was the sun, right? It's coming top from and left and creates contour and separates the subject from the background. So that's the reason we always use backlight. Sometimes on the interview, I use always almost like top of the head straight, so it gives like nice contour on the background, so you can get the darker than you want it. So you are making less light as a fill light from other side to kind of balancing the the light differences between sides. So some cinematographers, for example, in the movies, they like to shoot from the fill light side, right? So because once you use the fill light side, you have more dramatic image. And then some cinematographers likes to shoot from other side. So it depends on the movie it is. If you are shooting romantic comedy or whatever, just a more bright lighting, brighter look, you are shooting from the key side. If you are shooting Batman, you are shooting from the field light side because it's darker and it gives you dramatic look. So also this here, just like reflectors has as a gold and white and silver. Uh, Depends on the your choice. One of them gives like more white light, one of them gives like goldish yellow light.
Mm.
You see the reflections over. It's all choices. So uh, usually what people use is, right now there are lots of LED lights. When you go to interview, you guys can bring three small LED lights, and then you guys can make the backlights, or at least if you are shooting outside or the very bright room, at least one light will work because you will get some sunlight, natural light in the room from one direction. You just need to put other light to kind of balancing out the darker sides, and it will give you more better looking images. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I think this is really important. We have windows over there right now, lamp and everything. So try to utilize our natural light source, guys, during this, like, getting some examples from this tree lighting thing. Um,
Yeah, you asked this girl, right? So lighting of the girl.
what is it?
In the lighting page, there's a girl with the different kind of lights. You want
Yes,
to explain that, right?
yes.
So let's see what's going over there. Yeah,
So the
yeah,
first one,
different. Mhm. So on the left side, you might see one single source light, some sort of coming from 45-degree angle from the top. uh, it gives you more photographic, a little bit dramatic, or also, fashion shoot kind of style. Because usually in the fashion shoots or similar magazine shoots, photographers are usually use one light source. Sometimes it could be beat dish, different kind of light, or some big chimera single circular big lights from one direction, because one direction lights gives you this kind of tates, and then when it's the photography, when the model is doing some stuff, it gives you really like lighting. uh, in the middle is kind of seems like uh, the fill light and the key light together. uh, Again, usually the cinematographers are decides the differences between light and darker point. They might say, okay, one stop differences or two stop differences they were looking for, so they can read the light and adjust it. But the deciding with the eye, basically, put this fill light and a key light in function. Also, another important thing is the nose shadow, right? So where you are placing that light is important. Otherwise, you might get big nose shadow. You don't want it. So that's the reason you are adjusting fill light to get rid of these shadows. It's really important. On the right side, it's very strong key light comes from kind of right back. I wouldn't suggest to do something like this.
It's too much.
Oh,
But yes, but
too much.
we have also our examples that
Yeah.
ta-da.
So
So
yeah, I
let's
can say that. Yeah. Sorry, you
yeah,
go
my
ahead.
first question, why the colors are so different? Where are we? Where is our mistake?
Okay. So the first thing you have to learn is the skin is not something dry. It's actually it's wet, right? So once you put the light, it creates reflections. So when you look at the left side, on the head of her, you see lots of reflections. So that's the reason in the movies they put some stuff on as a makeup to cut that reflection. So once is if you are shooting some run and gun situations or interview like that, and if you don't have chance to do some makeup stuff, you guys always have to use soft light to cut that reflection. That's the main thing. So these reflections are sometimes gives overexposed images. So and then it will look bad, right? So also it just a kind of gives hint to where is the light. So let's start from the left side. Uh, White has different colors. So in the cameras there are color settings. You guys might see. Uh, for example, raw image, right? So when you get the raw image means the saturation all the way to the always, very low, almost zero, and so you don't have that much, almost, flat image without colors, not black and white, but less color, and also the sharpness is low, contrast is low, everything low. So raw image gives you chance to adjust the color as you want it. So when you are shooting movies are shooting on raw image. So when they shoot the movie, almost like no colors and everything. So maybe you can find image of raw footage. And so when they send it to colorist, so colorist makes the color on that image. So because there is no saturation value, he can add or she can add more saturation or less saturation, or more sharpening or less sharpening, more contrast, more brightness, etc. So that's the reason they shoot in raw. So most of the people, even interview stuff, they shoot raw. And so when they shoot raws, there are also another thing called LUTs, L-U-T.
Oh
Uh,
no, those are too much for us right now.
just wait.
Uh-huh.
Right. These are actually very, very simple things because
Uh-huh.
every editing software has now LUTs in it. LUTs means lookup tables. So basically, file, you are taking it and putting on the image, it turns your image to regular looking image. But this is really important. It's not too much. It's really important. If you are shooting a LUT with your A7, raw with your A7, there is files called A7 LUTs, whatever, and sometimes called Rec 709. So once you take this file, put on the image, it turns into regular coloring or better coloring with a different taste, and there are different LUTs. So once we go back to just mistakes. So white balance is really important. Getting the correct white balance,
Yes.
uh, and I'm trying to understand. Uh, Getting correct uh, uh, image style or image profile using in the cameras are important. For example, on the left side, why it looks more yellowish and everything, because it doesn't correct it. So how you can correct the image? You need white points or gray points. So basically, you have to select white point. It could be, for example, this poster behind of her. So once you open your uh, color editor in your, I don't know if you are using Premiere. What are you guys using to edit?
Premiere,
Yeah.
Final Cut, or like
Okay.
CapCut. Yeah.
Let's say Premiere. When you go to Lumetri Color, so when you open the basic corrections, you have to click this white point. So basically, you are telling this is the white in the environment and adjust rest of the colors for that. So once you click it, probably it will be less yellows, right, and more correct photography. Also, uh, white balance settings in your camera. So there are like you guys see like white balance here, WB. So there are Kelvins in it in that white balance. So 3200, 5500, or whatever. Uh, 3300 usually or 3200 is tungsten light. Tungsten means yellow light, which is on the left side of the photo. Yeah, there's a Kelvins here. And 5500 is the daylight. So once you are in 4200 usually for the fluorescent. So when you are shooting in a room with the yellow lights, you have to adjust your white balance to 3200. If you are shooting daylight is coming into your room, you have to go to 5500. If there is fluorescent, you have to go to 4200, for example. So, but all cameras has auto white balance. So basically it corrects for you most of the time. But again, what comes to not making those mistakes, uh, right white balance, right Kelvin, uh, and then adjusting the image in the editing, uh, and also matching correct lighting with your white balance in the environment. So those are the mistakes.
Okay, I have two more questions
Sure.
from our latest shots.
Mhm.
Let's come in.
The search for the right restaurant can feel like a shot in the dark.
Do you see the video?
Yeah, I see that.
Yes. So here, for example, for me, the background is the exposure is too high. So how can we fix it? So which can you tell us, like ISO or f-stop or shutter, which is wrong here?
So the first of all, it's overexposed. Overexposed means we are some parts are super bright, so we don't see the details. We see just white. For example, his short and top of the posters in the background, lots of whites, and then uh, so you have to get the correct adjustments to make those lights down, so it won't be overexposed image. Which means you're not going to lose any details in the photography. So first mistake is this is overexposed. So
That means ISO is so high.
any one of it. So
Okay.
it could be any one of it. So because all three is kind of in a different way controlling the light. So for example, this shot, I will go ISO 100 or 50 or whatever because it's too bright, right? So lowering the light. And then the rest of it, since you are shooting video, is 24 frame or 24 frame per second and double of it, the shutter speed, right? So that's another thing. I guess there's no problem with the frame rate and the shutter speed. So only thing is the brightness. But another thing is for this kind of environment, you have to have little bit soft background.
What do you mean
So
soft background? What does it mean?
yeah, it means a little bit blurry, kind of,
Oh, so f-stop needs to go down.
Yeah, so since it's so bright, And since you don't have ND filters, you cannot go down, right? Because there's too much light. So that's why the filters comes in. So since there's too much light, and then even your ISO all the way at the bottom, you cannot go to f2 or f3 or f4. Basically, this seems like f8 or if something like that, because like lots of place in focus and too much light in it. So what you need is for this shot, if you had ND filter in front of it, and you will get less light, and then you will be adjust your f-stop to have little blurry background, and then less overexposed image, so everything will be look fine.
I think these are our right now the biggest not
Oh,
mistakes but the things that we need to learn, because
mhm.
always contrast and exposure is not going good well.
Yeah,
So here they look so, yeah,
yeah,
dark.
it's all about image control and the light controlling. So the problem here is when you go, can you go back?
Yeah, just that part actually. Yeah.
Yeah, this part there. So the problem here is don't move.
Okay.
Don't touch it. So the problem here is you don't have enough light. So you have only lights at the ceiling, I guess. Seems like some spotlights or fluorescent, and you don't have enough light to balance out these shadows from uh, the front side. So how you can do it if you don't have any equipment and stuff? I see the walls are white. I don't know if the wall in this side, but I will shoot from other side, kind of use the reflection of white wall on them to kind of give it a bit light. So at least you will have some light. But if you are shooting something like this, if you are shooting indoor, uh, I guess still you have a little bit chance to adjust your ISO level to higher, so get more light, because this seems like not really overexposed. So again, the correct adjustment, like ISO, is important. So if this like shot with ISO 100, I will go ISO 400, for example, maybe. So it will bring more light and you will see less shadow on it. But if you have one reflector or either one LED panel, if you give the on the last on them, so it will balance out. Uh, that was the main problem over there.
Yes. Um, yeah, we're almost done. I think my other question is, so we have a lot of photos like this, and these photos are so important, but most of the time
Hmm.
they're not the best.
Yeah.
So what do you suggest for this kind of big, like, crowded people outside? So angle should be more, I think angle is wrong, but also how can we fix the light?
Okay. So uh, this is still image, right? It's not a video, and
Yeah.
you can control different part of the image uh, in the editing. So uh, all the professional photos and even not professional photos always have adjustment and shooting style. uh, you are just kind of implementing on. The main thing problem here is the darker skin. So darker skins absorbs the light more. So you always need to go higher on your adjustment on the brightness and stuff to get more details, right? So, but when you go higher, you will lose the details from the rest of the photos. So when we are shooting even movies, we have like the same kind of things happening. Or think that everybody was just like super white skin, and then it will be too bright for them. So the main thing here is not tell the darker parts of the photo, including this tree, is too dark, and rest of it is just like normally exposed. So basically, this might be shot in automatic settings. So what automatic settings does is so basically balancing every exposure in the photo, and like you see every details on the sky, right, all the way to the clouds and everything, so it's not overexposed, and you see every details on the floor, it's not overexposed. Since these are normal exposure, the darker skins or darker parts of the image becomes too dark because you need more light on this part. So this kind of photos, you have to adjust what's your priority, the faces, right? So you wanna see the people. So you have to get exposure the way you see everybody, and then to forget the rest of it. Uh, you have to use tripod. The reason is there's technique called plate shooting. So when you are shooting stuff like this, uh, you always get plate shot after that. So what does it mean is you are putting your tripod, the camera is stable, right? And everybody's in the frame. You are taking shots, everything adjusted to see the faces and everything, get the correct uh, uh, the exposures and brightness and everything. And then you are clearing everybody out. You didn't move the camera at all. And then you are shooting empty place. So, and then in the editing, you are going to put two photos together on layer. You're gonna keep the people, and then you're gonna erase the rest of it. And under the layer, normally exposed skies and everything will be there. So basically, you are shooting same thing, one for the people, one for the image. Or uh, cameras has another function. You can shoot the same settings, but why I'm suggesting plate shot, because everybody is kind of moving. So another techniques that won't work. Another technique is shooting in the same thing in different exposure levels, more brighter, more darker, etc. When you combine all of it, it will give you perfect light. So, but since everybody is moving a little bit, those photos are not going to match. So that's the reason you have to shoot people first and then shoot the plate. Or you really have to, because I don't have the camera right now, so I can't see that. Uh, Developing this image is really important. I don't know if you're using Lightroom or Photoshop, whatever, you really have to tweak it. So what you can do is, if you don't have plate shots, you can kind of duplicate this photo, right? And adjust everything for the people in the one photo. And then in the second photo, you can keep everything for the rest of the environment. But if you are shooting photo, you always have to shoot raw, what the camera raw is, right? So because raw images are again less saturation, less contrast, less whatever. So it will give you a chance to adjust everything later. So if these photo files are DCT or whatever this raw files, when you put that photos into Photoshop, it will open camera raw software. So once open the camera raw software, you're gonna adjust for the people, right? The exposures and whatever you are doing it. So people will be visible. And then you're gonna open the same photo again for the backgrounds and anything. And in the Photoshop, you're gonna combine two of it. So it needs a little bit stuff. But if the camera is a little bit closer to the people, well, it's really big, it might give different kind of result. Again, I don't have the camera and I don't know the situation. Uh, but again, just the composition wise, it's too much sky and it's very small strip of people. And another thing is you can shoot two different sections and then combine together. That's another way. Or now just Photoshops and stuff are really advanced. You can shot a different part of the photos. When you put in the Photoshop, it will combine perfectly for you as well. So, but every photo has needs some little bit treatment at the end.
Then
If somebody has questions.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Thailand. Guys, do you have any questions before we wrap it up?
Yeah, just one question.
Mm-hmm.
It's related to the pictures that we take whenever the sun is overhead, or let's say if we're
Mhm.
outside, the sun is overhead. And if you've seen the previous picture, while the pictures were indoor, again it was nighttime, and the light was coming directly above the spotlight,
Mhm.
the one you mentioned earlier, like on
Yeah.
the video. So, and yeah, that's usually the time when we actually face this kind of problems. And when you also mentioned that there is a problem in like matching what's happening. For example, if you see the group picture, what we
Mhm.
try to do there is we try to include. We had like a lot of people, almost about
Mhm.
200. So we try to include all those people on a single picture. That's what we're trying to do,
Mhm.
and that's why there
Yeah.
is a lot of thing happening on the
Mm-hmm.
background.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are like, how can we adjust these? Like, one
Mhm.
question is
It's
how
so
when the
hard
sun is
to
overhead.
show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So this for the still photo or the movie for the video. Photographer's job is to find perfect frame, right? So because you are responsible to create nice photo, whatever you are shooting it, even interview, even group photo, your job is to find perfect photo in that given environment. So uh, for example, that corridor shot, you have to really find uh, the side that light comes on them, not stays behind and top. So if light stays behind and back of them, behind and top of them, the front will be dark. So your main uh, mission is to find the place you really get the lights the front of them. Forget the background because it's important. And if you don't have, again, the reflector, you always have one reflector in your back, camera back, and it's so cheap. Please get one.
Yeah, we
So
can get
if,
that.
yeah,
Mhm.
even if you use the reflector in that corridor shot, it will help to bounce light back to them. And also the rest of it is the camera. So I have to mention this for this kind of situation. In your cameras, there should be waveform, zebra, uh, the functions. Basically, zebra is like animal zebra, and zebra is gives you to see overexposed parts and underexposed part. So zebra, what makes is you are giving the value, for example, 90 or 100 or 80. So it shows you where is, yeah, this is the image. Why it is called zebra? Because it's just like those are the lines. So in this photo, where the lines are overexposed, so you always open that, keep that open, zebra on your
So
monitor,
yeah.
and then any given situation, you will see where is the overexposure. So you can adjust your light till to get that point in the low light situation. Even you can go a little bit further and you will get enough light, and then you can start adjusting. So in the corridor shot, as I said, there were, I believe, a couple steps more. You got a chance to go up. So but you can't see it because you are not using the zebra tool. So zebra tool, it will help you. So because not always what you see on your monitor is correct. So sometimes it's too bright or anything, so you're not going to understand. But yeah, there's like zebra settings, grid lines, and also grid lines are for the composition, and also there should be focus assist, and that's gives you light, some kind of color lines to show you where is in focus, right? So when you do focus, because your monitor is small, you might not see where is the focus exactly. Either you have to use magnification, that you can see there's like uh, magnification button over there at the top, and either you have to use magnification to see detail, click it, see the detail, adjust your focus, or you are using focus assist in your camera, it shows you which parts of the photo in focus. So focus assist and zebra is really helpful. Zebra will help you to get as much as possible exposure for your image. And then if you don't see the focus part, it will help you to focusing this thing. And also this cameras has face detection functions. I will use that if you are not really sure what's going on. So face detection always keep the focus on the faces. And then group shots, again, as I said, it's like if you have 200 people, 300 people, uh, you always have to get uh, correct placement again for the lights. For example, uh, like like previous photo, if you have that much darker skin, I will turn to the sun instead of getting my behind, right? So you get more lights over there. And then, so because again, the skin is not dry, it's wet. And then if you have less light, it becomes darker. If you have more light, it's reflecting. So I will turn to the side, sun, and I will use tripod, and I will always shoot plate shots, which means empty frame. Don't move the tripod, place people, and then shoot it. Uh, and then after people cleared out, shoot the empty place just in case. And also there are another options. Use the zebra, and you can overexpose the skies and etc. It doesn't matter because next plate shot you're gonna shoot with perfect exposure, and then you're gonna combine these photos. So
And also, if you just, look at the camera settings, guys, like every menu, you will see like a lot of settings over there, and smile like face detection.
says like long exposure. What you use for long exposure is not moving stuff. For example, you're gonna shoot one location, but it's dark. You don't have enough light. You are setting uh, your aperture to biggest. You go like depends on your focus things, and then you are giving more time uh, to your image to get more light. Since it's dark, you need longer time to get the enough light. So you are setting like 1 second or 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and then your camera is on a tripod. You are not touching it. It opens, click, and waits 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, gets a lot of light, and then it's closing it, right? So since you are giving more lights in dark places, locations in cars, whatever you are shooting, will be perfectly exposed. So it's like opposite of the too much light, really quick uh, time, settings. So if you have almost no lights, you are given more time to get more lights. It's called long exposure. Exposure time is good.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah. This thing is like technical, so you kind of have to
So
know.
helpful. Even I learn a lot of stuff, but
Yeah.
especially these three things: lighting and the most important settings of the camera
Mhm.
and everything. Thank you so much for telling
You're
all of
welcome.
this to us. It's almost 2 a.m. here, guys.
Yeah.
If you have any
Wow.
questions,
45 minutes.
yeah,
Wow.
we can. You can ask, or otherwise, let's set him free.
Yeah, if you have questions, shoot it now or shut up till the rest of the eternity. So
No
that's
questions
it.
from our side. Thank you so much.
All right. You're welcome. You're welcome. Again, guys, just, these things are very technical, but it's very easy actually. Once you learn it, it's like piece of cake. And what I suggest is always look and dig the internet because there are lots of information out there, lots of videos over there. And train your eyes. To train your eyes means look at the images the way you can understand. Oh, where is the light? Where is the shadow? How is the composition? What's the colors are? What's the depthness? So because you know all this stuff, so you cannot look at the photo like you are looking before, right? So when you look at the photos, especially the photos or videos or movies you like, just look at technical way, try to understand. Oh, they use just tungsten yellow lights. Oh, there's a lots of depth of field. Oh, these guys are moving but image is not bending. Or just train your eyes is so important, because the shooting, specifically shooting just like run and gun, which means that you are going some places, shooting interviews or whatever you are shooting, has always difficulties. And then these solutions must, you know, become your reflection kind of, because you train your eyes, you know it. What's the situation? Oh, there's a less light. Oh, there's a too much light. Let's put the ND. Let's do this. It's so easy actually. So once you train yourself, it will be a piece of cake. And then once you step once you step on it, or just past this technical side, then you will freely create more creative stuff. Okay, let's shoot like that, and then add this and that, or tell the story in that way. So again, it's so easy. Just look at it, train your eyes, read as much as possible. It's fun on the internet, and yeah, keep continue.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, guys, yeah, please
Thank you so
put
much.
everything to practice, especially girls. Please shoot something for me, and I want to see what's gonna what's you gonna come up with. Okay. So, good night for us, and have a nice day for you guys. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you,
It was
Tyler.
fun. Of course, it was fun. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, team.
Bye.
Of course. Thanks, man. Bye.
Bye.